Alright, this is like a somewhat good angle. I am currently, well, my bagels are made, and just wanted to talk a little bit while I'm getting them ready. Just thought, I don't even know, just kind of what's on my mind and all that lately with all like homemaking related stuff. So that's what I'm doing here. Just getting it all ready and sorting it out and then making it into bagels. So yeah. Yeah, so we're doing this. We're getting this all going. Life has been good. I think I'll have another video out. I know it's probably been a week or so since I posted, which is probably not the biggest deal. Life just seems sometimes to get busy, and then that's when sometimes videos are put aside. So it's also hard because I do so many voiceovers, and they're sometimes hard to do with Caspian, because either he's being really loud, or like he's sleeping, and he sleeps on me, so he wakes up a lot. So it just depends when I get those filmed and all that, on top of everything else, all my household duties and things that I do. It can make it kind of difficult with that. But homemaking, I feel like homemaking just, it's always been on my heart. It's something I grew up doing. It's what I I've always just like loved to do in some sort of another. Now I feel like I've taken it on a whole new level. A lot of things I've learned that I never grew up with, things that I did grow up with and will do, like, that I still do. I feel really blessed, and I didn't realize as much as a kid on the things I was taught. Now, I was very much aware that things I was being taught were kind of out of the norm. I was very much taught from a young age to bake, to cook. My mom always made my dad's lunches. She was always doing stuff like cooking and stuff, gardening. I grew up on a farm, and so that was always something that was super, super common around my home. But I have built that even on of like sourdough and making things like bagels. Like that was definitely never something that was in our home that my mom would never make bagels. Like she was definitely a homemaker, did everything, and still does. But I feel like I've done a whole other level. But back to like, I just didn't realize how uncommon. I'll see stuff online and everyone's like sharing all these like new things that they're learning. And for me, I've known this stuff, and I feel so blessed that I've known this stuff. And it's just like second nature at this point, because that's all I've ever done was this stuff. And so mostly I just have to add upon that knowledge than having it be so new and out there that it's really difficult. So I definitely feel very blessed from that point, that I know a whole lot of this stuff. But it's just really interesting how it feels like a fad online if you go about all this stuff. It wasn't something that most people have grown up with, and it seems like almost like a trend, which is so weird because it's how it used to always be, and I don't feel like it should feel like a trend by any means, because like women have been cooking, cleaning, doing stuff, and like doing all like the household responsibilities for thousands of years, and it's only been in probably, was it the last 40 years? So I don't even know. I think it's just been a slow dwindle, and then it just seems like recently people are trying to bring that back and trying to be homemakers again, to whatever extent that can be. I know some people it's more ideal to do things. Sometimes it's harder depending on what you can do. I feel like I do a lot, and there's still farther I want to go, but I'm doing currently as much as I can, a little bit at a time. I do work full-time, luckily from home, and so I can keep Caspian with me. But I know that's not a luxury. Now some of it's a choice, some of it's not, like it's not my most favorite thing that I have to be working. But financially it's what has to happen right now. Eventually I would love if I could just be a stay-at-home mama and all that, but I don't know when that reality would ever happen. So I'm just taking my blessings as I can, and at least I can work from home with Caspian. So that's really nice. But yeah, I just think it's a really interesting trend, how it's coming back, which I love, because I feel like as I was learning a lot of these things, and I love like cooking and taking care of the home even as a kid, and all that. No, I definitely was not good at cleaning. Yeah, any kid, you know, cleaning just was not my favorite, but I love just baking and learning new things, and just kind of taking that knowledge. So I loved that aspect from it. And now, like, not that I love cleaning, but it's definitely more fulfilling when you're doing it for your own family, than not, for definitely not having roommates. And definitely better than when you're a kid and your mom's telling you to clean and you don't want to. So, that's a plus. So, I love it, but I think it's just interesting dynamic, even how many skills are lost and we're bringing back, and especially in the last year, I feel like I've learned so much, so many new things, so many new skills. Bagels I learned before in the last year, but it's just something I love to do. It's something that it's fun. They taste so much better. I don't even know the last time I bought any kind of like bread product, because I make our own bagels and buns, and bread. So it's like I don't buy any of this stuff anymore. Let me get back. But homemaking, like kind of why, for at least for me, and I think probably a lot of women, why they do it. For me, one, I can make things a whole lot cheaper than if I was to buy it. A lot of things I feel like taste better, but even says it's not like food related. Like I sometimes get questions on why we do that. There's cheaper. They're just going to buy it. It's easier. Maybe not cheaper on some products. I think I can make it a lot easier, but the time it takes and the work, it'd be easier just to go and buy. But for me, I love being able to know exactly what's in something when I make it. I know exactly every single ingredient that goes into every single item I make. And that'd be a baked good, sourdough, cookies, anything like that, anything I make. Or even to like different products like baby shampoo, and lotions and soaps and all that. It's nice knowing what's in it. I hate the term crunchy, because one doesn't make any sense to me, and I just feel like it sounds stupid. But because I just feel like my whole goal is, like, one, I want things natural. I love the old slower way of life when things were not quite as crazy, and things were that way. But I don't feel like we need all this stuff. I don't feel like I'm as like crazy on like the crunchy mom side as a lot of people. I definitely try to find a balance on that, and hopefully I can get stuff as more natural in our home as possible. With still kind of keeping a reasonable pace, because I grew up with I knew a lot of different families that were like so like crazy on you didn't buy this, you didn't eat this, and the kids really struggle with that. And so then they would be like at parties or in social settings away from their parents, and so then they would like binge eat every single treat, and kind of go crazy on that because they hadn't been exposed, and they hadn't had any good stuff. So that's always my goal, is if I'm going to get rid of something, I want to have a really good alternative that tastes the same or better. So I don't feel like me and my family ever feel like we're lacking anything. That's my number one goal. Hey, Bubba! It's okay, Bubba. So there's a lot of that. There also is so much joy whenever I can finish a new product, or even I've done it several times, be able to finish and be like, I did this, I made this. Because like for bagels, for example, that I'm doing right here, I go to the store, I grab them, cool, I got bagels, we eat them, they're gone. But being able to make them and finish a good batch and then be able to eat them and know I made these with my own hands. It's so much more fulfilling. And so it's like every time I make something new, I'm like, look, and guess what I did? And I get super, super excited. And I know I don't get that from just going to the store. I'm not like, oh, look, I just found this new shit, like sunscreen, and it's awesome. But I get that joy when I make a new sunscreen, and it works out. So that's where a lot of my why comes in, is it's just that fulfillment to be able to do things and feeling proud of something I can create. But there's also, like, we knew during 2022 when everything shut down, there were so many things we couldn't get. And in situations like that, when there's shortages, whatever, we can't get that. I want to be able to not feel like those moments again where, hey, I can't get something, but I want to be like, well, I can make that. And so having all the ingredients, one, in my home to be able to make those so we're not worried. But two, kind of my angle, I would love to just be able to go out and find like raw product, that's like herbs and stuff, and be able to make it that way. That is something I really hope that I can do someday. I have a couple books and I've kind of looked into it, not a whole lot. Again, I can only do so many things at once, and it's like on my priority list, but it's been hard, with just the available time that I do have for me to be able to do anything. So doing little things at a time, when you can, and not feeling overwhelmed, I think is a big part of that. And I don't feel like anyone should feel ashamed, like you're not where you want to be, because I know I'm not where I want to be. I would love if we had a little farm, we had room to grow and animals, and I'm not. Like, we're in a little home, as I mentioned, in a neighborhood, tiny yard, but we're making do with what you can. And I think that's all you can ask, is doing what you can with the means that you have. Like, we're not able to have any animals. We barely have Mason, our dog, and he has to be outside. But like, we keep chickens at my parents', so we're able to have farm fresh chicken eggs. I've been able to grow potatoes there. And so just finding what you can, when you can, stuff like that. You're not feeling so overwhelmed. So I think that's a big thing, is learning what you can, using the resources you can. Alright, well, it's been a little bit. Had to go take care of little man. And now the big, gotta mean that, baby. Ugh. Now they're all ready to rise, so. Yeah, doing I'm trying to even think where I was at, but doing what you can by the means that you have, and everyone's different. I know I get into not habit, but I feel bad because I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. I don't have my giant farm, and I'm able to do this, what this other person is able to do. And realizing, well, everyone has been at different points, and I shouldn't feel bad when I can't meet that certain expectation. So just finding what you can do, but also I feel like not waiting, because I know another big thing is, it's so easy to say, well, someday when I have a farm, like this for example, I'll be able to do all this stuff. Well, we don't know when that's going to be down. For me right now is, well, someday I wish I could do all this different stuff homemaking. Right now that's not my reality. But what I can do is learn a little bit I can, making my bagels every few weeks, doing it that way. So finding those little things that you can do right now, and not getting caught up on what you can't do, but what can you do, and learning stuff and doing stuff, and not waiting for that someday. Start exercising when you have more time. Start exercising once you're done having kids, or just like whatever it be, starting now of what the little stuff you can, and hopefully sooner than later your reality will become real. So yeah, kind of my thoughts. I'm probably all super jumbled of like homemaking and all that. So I'm gonna finish making all these bagels. I have 3 trays that I need to make up and cook, and they should be really yummy. So I'm excited for them because we love bagels around here, and ran out and didn't have any for breakfast. So I'm excited to be having them. If you guys like this, or tell me your kind of thoughts on homemaking down below. Love to be able to talk and connect with any of y'all. So send me a message over on Instagram, and I will see you guys hopefully next week. Everything goes well. But I hope you have a great day, great night. God bless.